Hi friends, previously we have discussed about the phases of compiler. This is a continuation of phases of compiler. For the previous phases you can see in the description we provide the link for a lexical analyzer, syntax analyzer, semantic analyzer. You can see that links. After that coming to the fourth phase is intermediate code generators. So after getting the parse tree and that we'll check by the syntactical manner, after that we have to generate the code. Okay, so we have to generate the code by using the parse tree. Okay, why? Because lexical analyzer will generate the identifiers. Okay, with that we'll draw the syntax tree. Then we'll check whether that syntax tree is proper or not by semantic analyzer. Now coming to the intermediate code generator. For example, previously what we have considered example, that only we will take here. So that is position equals to next one initial plus rate into 60. So this is our example. So the outcome of the lexical analyzer is $60. Okay, and this is outcome of the lexical analyzer. And coming to the syntax analyzer, outcome is equals to id3 and plus id2, id1 id2 multiplication id3 60. So in the example the position we are considering as position is float. So this 60 is integer, so we have to convert integer to float. Okay, integer to float. So this is the outcome of the semantic analyzer. Now we have to generate the intermediate code. So what we have to do first, what we are doing, for example, take the temporary variable t1. This value will be stored. What is that value? Integer to float 60. Okay, then afterwards still here our operation is finished. Next what we have to do, we have to multiply id3 with whatever the value we have stored. Now next one, take the another variable, temporary variable t2, then we have to perform this one. id3 is multiplied with t1, that will be stored in the t2. Again take the one more temporary variable t3. So till here our value will be stored in the t2, then that will be added to the id2. So what is the next step? id2 will be added to t2. Okay, so what is the final one? id1 equals, what is the id1 equals to this total one? This total one considered as a t3. So this is our code generator, intermediate code generator. Very simple. See here, syntax analyzer, lexical analyzer outcome is this one. We will draw the parse tree in the syntax analyzer. In the semantic analyzer we will check whether it is correct or not with the syntactical manner. So instead of which whatever the changes we will do here, integer to float. So this value will be stored in the t1, this will be multiplied with id3, that will be stored in the t2. So this total one we can take it as a t2. Okay, then we have to add id2 and t2, and this will be totally stored in the t3. Okay, so then the total value will be assigned to the id1, that is position. Okay, clear. Now coming to the next phase. What is the next phase? After intermediate code generator, what is the next phase? Code optimizer. Okay, coming to the code optimizer, by the word only you can understand that is we are optimizing the code. Okay, code optimizer means whatever the code we are generated, that will optimize. See how will optimize? See, for example, t1 directly we are multiplying with id3 by directly taking the float value. What is that? 60.0 id3 t1, that value will be stored in the t1. Next what you are doing, id1 equals to, you can write directly id2 in id2 plus t1. Okay, you already know what is id1, position. The total value is id2 plus this one. This value is totally t1 and this is a id2. We are adding this 2 and we will store in the id1. See here, how many lines of source lines of code here present? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, in the intermediate code generator we have 4 lines of code, and coming to the code optimizer we are reduced into 2 lines. So compiler, for example, when you can say you are the good programmer or good developer means whenever your written code is consisting of less number of lines of code is less, then we can say that you are the good developer and good code writer, we can say. Why? Because if the length of the code is less, then the compiler it will take less time, and the bugs will be causing of the bugs is it may reduces, because source lines code is decreases, so automatically errors and it will the time taken process, the cost, everything will be decreases, automatically the efforts also will be decreases. So this is the outcome of the code optimizer. And coming to the last phase, what is the last phase? Last phase is the code generator. Sixth phase, that is a sixth phase, code generator. Okay, what the code generator will do, here we will generate the code. Okay, whatever the code we are optimized, that will be generate in the code optimizer. Okay, see here, for example, our given code, how we are writing? First we are loading the float value. What is that float value? We are loading in the R2, C, comma, ID 3. Then what we are doing? We are multiplying this float value to with ID 3, this one, T60. So first R2, then R2 into, R2 60. Okay, so this total value will be stored in the R2. Then we have to load the float value into R1 comma ID2. Okay, this one, ID2 will be stored in the R1. Next, what you have to do? Addition. Why? Because addition, position equals to initial plus rate into 100. Multiplication finish. So next we have to do add float of which one we have to add? R1 comma R2. So the addition of R1 comma R2 will be stored in the R1. Then this R1 will be stored in the identifier 1. Okay, so finally where our value will be stored? In the identifier 1. This is the code generator. First we are loading the value in ID3 in the register 2, then we are multiplying 62 with R2, then that will be stored in the R2, and we have to load the ID2 in the R1, then we have to add this R1 and R2. That result will be stored in the R1, that result R1 will be transferred to the ID1. This is all about the phases of the compiler. Okay, so I'll explain little bit means in detail about each in single steps. So first one is lexical analyzer, second phase is syntax analyzer, third phase is semantic analyzer, next one is intermediate code generator, next one is code optimizer, next one is code generator. Okay, see here, coming to the lexical analyzer, here lexemes will be produces. Lexeme means what ma? Tokens, identifiers, like that. And coming to the syntax analyzer, this is will called as a parsing. Okay, parsing means we'll draw the tree. And coming to the semantic and the semantic analyzer, we will check whether the given one is syntactically correct or not. Wrong. Okay, then intermediate code generator, we will generate the code. Okay, in the optimization, whatever the code generator in the intermediate code generator, we will optimize by following some rules. Optimizing the code. Okay, now coming to the code generation, we will generate the code, means as per our steps we will load the values and we will do the operation, arithmetic operations, all will be done. We will generate the final code, that is mnemonics. In the form of mnemonics we will generate. So this is all about, this will be connected to the symbol table. Okay, this is all will be connected to the error handler. So in the symbol table the values will be, identifiers will be stored Okay, coming to the first phase, lexical analyzer, syntax analyzer, semantic analyzer, intermediate code generator, code optimization, code generator. First phase will generate lexemes, means identifiers, tokens will be generated. Coming to the syntax analyzer, we can call it as a parsing. In this, we will draw the parser. The semantic analyzer, it will check whether the given drawn parser is syntactically correct or not. In the intermediate code generator, it will generate the code. Optimization, it will optimize the code. Then the final code will be generated in the code generator. Thank you.